Hey guys, as promised in my last video, I'm going to review some holsters. There are people who collect holsters instead of guns, and that's actually a good idea for several reasons. One, if you're a young collector or new to this or have limited resources, it's a lot cheaper. Secondly, they also go up in value just like guns, especially if you get really high-end, beautiful, certainly all original holsters, and you got to watch out for the fakes. And then thirdly, it's easier to buy, sell, trade within the states and outside of the United States, because there's no state that has restrictions and it's easy to put through the mail. You don't have to worry about FFLs and all of that. So I have a lot of holsters that I want to show you and a couple flags at the end, so stick with it. You can always fast forward if you're not interested, but make sure you watch the whole video because there's information, there's something there for everyone. Okay, let's start down here with this baby because this was a nice find. And by the way, what prompted me to do this is we had a collection of holsters come in. Some of them are extremely rare, which prompted me to go back to the safe and pull out some of my rarer holsters and basically just want to do an educational video. So I just want to make you aware of the price ranges are so you know what to expect when you see these on the internet or at a show. Now, first I'm going to show you this baby because this just came in yesterday, but it comes with a Model 9. And what's interesting about this, I've seen this holster quite a bit, and I almost call it a sock instead of a holster because it's just really thin. It's like a thin layer of gabardine. It's just a little tiny sock, but this one is very rare because while these were made by AKA, they're almost never stamped. So this gun comes with this holster, which does have the AKA logo. And this is a Walther Model 9. And if you look inside here, we got Walther Model 9. So this is uniquely marked. They are original, but as I said, they're just very thin, very flimsy. However, marked like this is very rare. So I wanted to show you that, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to call this the Big Four because in the Walther community, this would be the Big Four collectibles. First, the Party Leader PPK, Party Leader PPK holster. This is probably the nicest one I've ever seen. I remember a guy sent me the picture. He lived in northern New Jersey. I immediately said, I'll be there tomorrow. I drove all the way up there. We haggled quite a bit, but I bought it. This is as nice as they come. In fact, I'd say it's unissued. This has barely been opened. You can see Walther PPK. There's the AKA logo again. But this is more normal. This is typically, and this is, by the way, is in excellent condition. Just a really nice Party Leader. It has the AKA marking. You notice they're tan. They also come in a coffee brown. We've sold those before. There's the AKA marking, and there's the PPK marking, and then the Party Leader marking. I started to say these come in coffee, also black. I think we have a black one right now. But most of them are tan, made in about 1938, 1939. There's the back of it. And I said the Big Four. So first of all, the Party Leader. Next would be the SA marked. These would be for PPs. This is PPK. SA marked PPs, but I actually have a SA marked PPK. This, I said PP. This is the symbol. In fact, here's a picture of what they're trying to replicate. This was the SA logo. It's actually done by a designer. Almost looks like a lightning strike, but that's an SA on there. This one is in mint condition. But this is very unique because almost all of them are marked Walther 7.65. Again, there's that AKA marking. This one is marked sour. And yes, they do have very few sour SA guns, sour marked SA guns. And this is a holster in mint condition, SA holster. This is more common, and this is also a little beat up. The SA marking is a little hard to see. You'll notice, by the way, that the top is always trimmed off so that you don't cover up on here. The top is, you don't want to cover up the well, I want to cover up the swastika, but the people who made these did not want to cover up the swastika. The closure strap is squared off. I did find this one in the safe. I got this years ago. I've only seen two of them, but this is squared off, AKA marked. It's definitely PPK has a shorter barrel. This is a PP. This is a PPK. This is definitely PPK, and you have to be with just the right angle. There is an SA marking right here. Now, did they ever make? I would have said they never made an SA PPK, but I actually now have one. It was a presentation gun. It is SA marked, and it is also engraved. So I put this together with the SA PPK. I've only seen 2 in my life. Now, number 3, I mentioned the big 4. Number 3 is the NSKK holster. Again, this is going to be a PP. In fact, I pulled one out of the safe. There's the PP. And it has this NSKK, and actually on the holster, you can see that there's initials here, but it is the NSKK, which is the Transportation Corps. So these were the motorcycle drivers, actually traffic cops and transportation, but they delivered troops and special supplies and messages and things like that. So this is the NSKK Corps. It's for a PP. These are extremely rare. I've only seen a couple in my life, and yes, I have seen some fake stampings, but that's what it should look like, and you almost never can read the NSKK. The fourth variation, I actually couldn't find one, but I have had a couple of them. NSFK, which was the Flying Corps. So there's the NSKK, and here's the logo that you find on the internet, and this is what they're trying to replicate, but you often can't read it. If you can read it real distinctly, it's probably repro, meaning somebody stamped it later, which means they had to square that off. So you always look at the stitching to make sure this wasn't restitched, it wasn't cut and restitched, because a normal holster always has the rounded top. The closure strap would be rounded. If they're squared off and faked, you can usually tell it on the stitching. This one is real, NSKK, and then here is the symbol for the NSFK, and that holster goes with the Flying Corps and would also hold a PP. So those are the big 4 holsters in terms of German pistols, PPs and PPKs, and I mentioned the Sauer. Now, these are more common. So for the common collector, these are the kinds of things you actually can collect, because this is just a straightforward AK holster. Doesn't it look exactly like the party leader we just saw? Except this is nothing special. This is just a beautiful condition, Walther PPK. And it is ACA marked. The marking here is very nice. So this is in near mint condition, a little bit of cracking up here, and that's, from opening and closing. But this is considered in mint condition. Now this one is an ACA holster, obviously really beat up. It's an ACA holster. It fits a Walther PPK. You can see the closure strap is rounded. Closure strap is rounded. But this one is special. It is made by ACA, but it is very rare, Eagle Waffen 100. So it is a 100 proof stamp. That's not drinking alcohol, but 100 proof stamp. And this would go with a military issued or Waffen proofed Walther PPK. So if somebody has a Waffen PPK, finding a holster that is Waffen stamped is really hard to do. On some of the holsters, the Waffen stamp will be right here. The Eagle 100 is always under the closure strap, and I've had a few over the years, but that's a very collectible one, even though it's really beat up. So I like to buy them in this condition, but if it has an interesting stamp or a rare stamp, I'll buy them in this condition. Now these next 3 are called Hoffman style. Now Hoffman must have been the patent guy who did this style, but Hoffman style has, you notice how they, if you put a PPK in here you go, I have a PP, I don't want to stop filming to go get a PPK. So where this is opened up, if it has that finger extension at the bottom, you can see that it sticks out. So what happens, I guess Hoffman came up with this patent design because if you bang that, it's more likely to chip that finger extension, and then there's also a box mag that'll stick out. So that's the way it looks. Now the Hoffman style, and this does hold a PP, this is a police marked holster, but when I put this in it, you'll notice it does protect the finger extension. So these 3 are considered Hoffman style. Again, not really rare. This one is actually police marked. And it's a mystery that needs to be solved. I think these stamps are original. People will buy stamps and stamp almost anything in here. But I do see a police number or a rack number. LPK is, it is police, and that's land police or rural police. Rural Police Criminal Division. I also see this is, I believe, translated Police Headquarters. And right above it is KRPO, Kripo. Kripo was Criminal Police. And one other thing that I find interesting, because when I bought it, it was never, nobody ever mentioned it, so I find it hard to believe it was faked because it was never mentioned. But if you turn it upside down, I do have numbers and what looks like a triangle with SS runes inside. So this is a interestingly marked. This has Kripo Police Headquarters, certainly some connection to the state security or criminal police. So there's a Hoffman holster with some interesting markings. There's also a circle right here, but I don't know what stamp that would be. This is just a nice example with a guy's name in it. So the Hoffman style holster. Okay, you think I'm coming to the end, but I'm not. I'm going to refill this. I still have P38 holsters and Luger holsters. This one is very distinct. Anybody would know right away this is a broom handle. Probably it's kind of a rare holster because most of them did not survive. This is kind of worn, but it's also pretty special. Again, you can see the outline of the Bolo or the C96 broom handle. And then on the back is a Navy marking right there. So the Navy marking, I have a couple other that are Navy marked. I actually have a Luger holster that's Navy marked. That's the open wing eagle, swastika, and then the M for Marine or Navy. I believe this is all correct because it's worn over. Where the holster is worn, the marking is worn, which tells me it's been there a long time. Not stamped recently, does not look fake at all. And here's another Navy, but a different style. This goes with a Navy Mauser HSC. I know the style, I'm familiar with it, and the marking, the Navy marking here, I'm familiar with. So sometimes they will have this open wing eagle, sometimes that'll be stamped under here on the Mauser. Also the model 1934, you'll see Navy marking here. I've seen it here. I've also seen it back here. In this case, it's not a stamp like that. It's actually an ink stamp, and you can see it right here. There's the eagle, there's the M, swastika, and then a number, which I think is like 111 over, or I forget what. But it is in Jan Still's book on Axis pistols. So there's a Navy stamp. While I'm mentioning it, let me go find that Luger Navy holster as well. All right, here's the Luger holster, which I'm going to be showing you some Luger holsters. This is really in excellent condition. I don't do, like with guns, I'll say 98%, 70%. And speaking of the finish, how much of the finish is still remaining? And so a really nice gun will have 98%. And an average gun is going to be about 80%. And then once you get to like 50% or below, it really means like most of the finish is gone. But in the holster world, I'll say fair, good, very good, excellent, and then the highest category would be mint. Mint condition is like when I show you something, well, that party leader was in mint condition. It looks brand new. Hardly ever used, so I'd call that mint. This I'd say is excellent. There's that Navy marking. This is 1942, so it's really rare to find one with a Navy marking. I believe that is correct, though. So you have the open wing eagle, the swastika, and the M. So this is a 42 Navy holster, Major Emmons, maybe, and then a marking here. It does says Marine, Navy, and something underneath it, but right there is the word Marine stamping. There's your Luger tool pouch. There's a little bit of cracking in here, which was why it's not mint. Okay, so some more Lugers. I just brought out some more Luger holsters, and there's different styles. Remember, I talked about the Hoffman style. This is a military style Luger holster, meaning look how the closure strap comes over and buckles like this. This is military style, and this is police style. For some reason, the police had the closure strap going up and fastening right here. This is an early one because you see the brass stud. Usually they will be aluminum studs. So this is early, and actually when we get to it, it's 1934. So this is probably a reworked police gun from the DWM factory, moved over to Mauser, sold to the police. This is also a police style. We're going to spend some time on that. And then these, see how this goes up? These go down, and the closure strap is different, but these are P38s. So those are the different styles, and then of course we've got some American holsters, which we'll get to. So let's do this one first. This is a mint holster. Remember I talked to you about the grading. It's tan, it's mint, and what makes it so really rare, ridiculously rare, you hardly ever see them, 1944. So that's the maker, the initials of the maker, 1944. It has no other stamp, so either it was made so late in the war that it was never issued, or it was made for a commercial gun. The fact that it's tan, toward the end of the war, everything was going black. They were switching over to black dye on almost all the holsters. So this is a like brand new, never issued. Look at that. Just absolutely gorgeous. 1944. Now they generally stopped making Luger holsters in 1942. So to find one in 43 or 44, I don't think I've ever seen one 45. They really weren't making them anymore because they were making P38s after 1942. So I just wanted to show you this is a rare holster that I had in my collection. I've had it for quite a while. I just never see anything like it. And then I wanted to show you a pigskin holster. Now the pigskin, you can tell because it has the little hair follicles, the little pores in it. You can see how this is smooth leather from, I assume, cows. And then pigskin has the little dots in it. Now this is regular leather and then pigskin. These were generally made, there is a Waffen stamp here, but with the pigskin, it's really hard to see them because it gets blended into the pores. But these were really only made for Black Widows, 41, 42, basically Lugers from 41, 42. You see some wear there, but almost nowhere here. This looks like it was never issued because of the way, well, it's just not even bent. You can see the pores here on the other side. So we know this is pigskin. This is pigskin, and this is regular leather. Now, I have a stack of 3 here because this is a remarkable find. Actually, somebody brought them in yesterday. 3 of the rarest dated Luger holsters. What is the rarest date for a Luger holster? And probably you don't know, but somebody out there will tell you 1935 for the G date. Now, they actually made more G dates than K dates, but my theory is they made a lot more holsters than they needed. So I do see 1934 dated holsters. 1934, they're not rare. So they made a lot of holsters in 1934. And so for some reason, they didn't make very many. It's a very small amount. So to find a 1935 holster, this one is really hard to see. The stamp is correct, by the way. I did look it up. That's the correct proof. I don't know if you can see the 1935, but the 1935 holster is the rarest year. This person picked up 3 of them. That one's very clear. And you can see the maker. I'm going to say C. Heineken. That's not how you say it, though. C. Heineken. And this is Otto Sindel. So they made the 1935. This is in good condition and really unusual because this is the style of the 1934. The K date had this cleaning rod and this punch holder in 1934, but this is definitely dated 1935. So probably very early during the transition. And I'll just show you 2 more. This 1935 is a little better struck. C. Heineken, I'm going to call it. And then the last one is also C. Heineken and 35. So 3 1935 holsters. People look for years to find one. Now, I mentioned this is a police style. It's also 1934, also Otto Sindel. This starburst right here is a police stamp, and this style is police. This brass stud tells me that it's early, which it is. And then that's the inside. This one is in good condition. I see EB. Maybe that was Ava Bronze. You never know if she tried out for the police force. Now this one is extremely rare because it looks like a police holster, but it is ersatz or paper. It's a experimental paper holster. Now, I have seen these before in books, never saw one in person. The guy who had many of these as part of his collection sent this to us. There's no markings at all. This is leather. Remember I talked about the pigskin? Well, what's even rarer is paper holsters. Now, paper holsters, what they did, because they were running out of leather materials, they actually took a layer of paper, glue, layer of paper, glue, layer of paper, and as these age, it'll start to separate. And so when they're really in bad shape, they just come apart. This one is in remarkably nice condition. This is paper. This is paper. The closure strap is leather. So very little leather here, but I'm sure this was experimental. They tried it out. We do see a lot of the paper holsters for PPs and PPKs. You do not see them for P38s or for Lugers. So this is some kind of a prototype. Never saw one before. Extremely rare. Most collectors are not going to care too much about this, but really advanced holster collectors, and there's a couple of you out there, have heard of this beast and never seen one, but that is original World War II, experimental, never issued paper holster for a police Luger, or it could be for a P38. I'm sure that it would fit. Speaking of P38 holsters, I showed you this one briefly. This is a beautiful holster, still has a nice shine to it. P38, 1941. Nice and shiny, open it up and you can see how clean it is inside. Again, they made these up until about 1942, and then most of them went to a soft shell holster, which looks like this. That's a soft shell P38 holster because the shell is softer, and this is hard shell. Here's one that's rare because it's from 1944, and as I already mentioned, by 1944 they weren't really making the hard shell anymore. So this one is a very nice find. P38, you see the Hoffman stamp. This one looks like it was dyed. It's in good shape, but you can see how the thread is black, and sometimes it did have black thread, but here's a clue. This is white thread, and then this is black, which tells me it was originally white. Somebody dyed this. They did a pretty good job. So this is still collectible, but when I sell it, I say it's been re-dyed. There's the maker, and I believe this is from about 1941-42. Now, the American holsters, I'm not done with Germans. I have a few more I want to show you, so don't go away. A couple ones that will make you gasp. Here's a Boyd, 1942, and it's a very collectible World War II holster. This one with all the accoutrements, so we'll just say the holster and all the giddy-up. We got the pouch, we've got the belt, and the 1942 Boyd. Okay, thank you for your patience. We only have a little bit more to go. Here's a style called the dropping holster. We're going to talk about that. A couple of holsters here. This one will make you gasp. And then I actually have a couple flags just to round out the day that just give you ideas on pricing on those. Speaking of experimental holsters, this holster fits a Browning high power, or it also fits a Radom. I suspect a high power because of this, but usually, almost always, there is a mag pouch. In one of my videos just last month, I had an Aka holster. This is an Aka holster from the wartime that fit a Walther PP, and it had no pouch. And I said at the time, it's experimental. I don't know why they made them. I'm sure it was for the commercial market, because if you're a policeman or in the military, you want more than one magazine. There's no mag pouch here, no mag pouch here. Never had one. There's no sign that it was ever there. Very collectible because these are extremely rare. But as I said, I believe this went to a high power. It was made in Germany. So during the war, RGM, Aka, made during the war. We actually have Staff Sergeant Bahn here. That had to be the American that brought it home. Interesting find. For those people who just like, again, the advanced collector who wants really rare things like that paper holster that I showed you. And this curls your hair when you see it, because this goes to a Femeru. It's considered a tropical holster because it was meant for the Africa Corps, although many of them came back to the European theater. This has never been bent, so this is unissued. Little bit of sun fading here. Otherwise, it's a green tropical holster, again, for a Femeru. Here's a picture of one. This is what they look like. They're Hungarian. It was also known as the Model 37. and it came in 7.65 caliber. Here's the other side. Look at that. So it was laying down like this. The sun hit it here. It was in storage. Actually, the sun was coming in from the south right here. And here's the other side. Now that means it was issued to the Luftwaffe in 1941. So this is a holster from my personal collection. Now these are considered, I just wanted to show you one more style. It's called the dropping holster. And I always wondered, do they call it the oops. Sorry, I dropped it. That was a joke, gang. Dropping holster, all I know is that this style has these straps. This is one of the first ones, and the patent, they even have the patent number here, made by Aka Thurman. So it's a Thurman dropping holster. This was made for a PP. Also says Borchardt inside, so I don't know if that was in the factory or was used by Borchardt. But this PP dropping holster, the only thing I can think of is this drops. It stores like this, I think, and then you drop this into place. I'm just making this up. Drop that into place, that fits on your belt. For some reason, the Luftwaffe liked this style, so many of these went to the Luftwaffe. So here's one. I showed you this for ephemeral. This is also for ephemeral. Model 37, it's kind of worn out right there. But for the pistol, yeah, 37. For pistol, 37M. So this is ephemeral, mint condition, dropping holster, went to the Luftwaffe in 1942. One other dropping holster, and by the way, they have dropping holsters that are marked PP, PPK, Sauer 38H, and this one we just happen to have. Here's a dropping holster, HSC. So it was for the Mauser pistol, HSC 7.65, dropping holster, and we look at the back, and this one also went to the Luftwaffe in 1943. So these are Luftwaffe holsters. I showed you Navy holsters. I showed you police holsters. So you got the whole ball of wax. I hope that this video has been worth every penny you spent to watch it. We also got in this. I'm not sure what it is. If you want to write in, I mean, I know it went to the Kriegsmarine. And if you want to know more about it, all you have to do is put your phone up here because that's the QR code. And it'll tell you all about it, actually. I just made that up. And again, poor attempt at a joke. But because of the way it's tied, I'm thinking it could have been like tablecloth or something on a ship. Interesting. And then this banner, we usually get the really big ones, you know, like they hung from the 4th floor down to the floor, and it's kind of a pain because where are you going to display it? In fact, how do we take pictures of it? At one time, we laid one of these big long banners out on our parking lot, and people were coming in and just driving over it. I guess that was their way of giving the Nazis the finger. But this one, if you just want to have one on display, you put this out. It does have a few holes in it, but it's in relatively beautiful condition. There's the maker, and then there's also information here, the size. So a typical Nazi banner brought back at the end of the war. Not many of you want this hanging around. I know my wife would not allow me to hang this in our living room. That would not go over well. I don't know too many women that would. But if you have a man cave and you want some place to display, these come in handy. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. Lots to think about, and if you want to get started as a holster collector, have at it. So where can I find beautiful babies like this? Well, usually any place where you can buy military or collectible guns. So gun shows, the internet, you can always find them there, but the really high-end items are getting harder and harder to find. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and tell somebody else about it.